Let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you did something that scared you? Not something dangerous, not something reckless, but something that truly pushed you beyond the walls of comfort. Something that forced you to grow, to stretch, to challenge every part of who you are. Most people spend their entire lives inside the safe circle of comfort. They wake up at the same time, do the same things, talk to the same people, think the same thoughts, and live the same day over and over again. And then when years have passed, they wonder why nothing has changed. But let me tell you this, comfort is a silent killer of dreams. Comfort whispers to you, stay here, don't risk it. Don't try. What if you fail? What if they laugh at you? What if you fall flat on your face? And yet, deep down in your soul, you know this truth. You were not created to live small. You were not born to live a life of mediocrity, of safety, of fear. Roy T. Bennett once said, "It's only after you've stepped outside your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform." Think about those words for a second. They are not just a quote. They are a roadmap for your life. Every great story you've ever admired, every successful person you've ever looked up to, every world changer, every innovator, every legend, they all share one common trait. They dared to step outside their comfort zone. Michael Jordan didn't become the greatest basketball player of all time by staying in his comfort zone. He pushed through thousands of failures, defeats, and missed shots. He practiced harder than anyone else. He went beyond the comfort of good enough. Oprah Winfrey didn't build her empire by staying comfortable. She grew up in hardship, faced rejection, faced humiliation. But she refused to let comfort dictate her destiny. And think about Thomas Edison. He didn't invent the light bulb by staying comfortable after 1,000 failed attempts. He stepped out of comfort and walked straight into the battlefield of failure until he transformed the world. And the same principle applies to you. Listen, your comfort zone feels safe. But safety is not where growth lives. Safety is not where transformation happens. Safety is not where greatness is built. Greatness lives in the unknown. Growth lives in the uncomfortable. Transformation lives in the leap. You see, inside your comfort zone, everything stays predictable. You know what's going to happen. You know what's coming next. But outside of it, that's where the magic begins. That's where you discover who you truly are. That's where life begins to unfold in ways you could have never imagined. So let me challenge you today, step out of your comfort zone. Do the thing you've been avoiding. Start the project you've been postponing. Speak to the person you've been too nervous to approach. Take the risk you've been too afraid to try. Because on the other side of fear, there is freedom. On the other side of discomfort, there is growth. And on the other side of doubt, there is transformation. You want to become more confident. Step out of your comfort zone. You want to build courage. Step out of your comfort zone. You want to achieve greatness. Step out of your comfort zone. You cannot wish for transformation while clinging to safety. You cannot pray for growth while refusing to change. You cannot hope for success while hiding in comfort. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die. But the moment you take a step out, everything shifts. Suddenly, you realize you're capable of more than you ever imagined. Suddenly, the limits you once thought were real vanish. Suddenly, you begin to grow into the person you were always meant to be. Listen to me carefully. The comfort zone will never give you the life you dream of. It will give you safety, but not greatness. It will give you stability, but not fulfillment. It will give you routine, but not destiny. Destiny belongs to the brave. Growth belongs to the risk takers. Transformation belongs to those who dare. And here's the truth. You don't have to make a giant leap today. You don't have to conquer the world in one step. All you need is the courage to take one step beyond where you are. One small risk, one small change, one small action, and when you do, you build momentum. And momentum is the force that transforms your entire life. But it all begins with that choice to step outside your comfort zone. So ask yourself, am I living inside the prison of comfort, or am I willing to step into the freedom of growth? Because one day you will look back at your life, and when you do, you will not regret the risks you took. You will regret the risks you didn't take. You will regret the chances you never dared to embrace. You will regret the dreams you allowed fear to suffocate. You will regret staying comfortable while your soul cried out for more. Don't let that be your story. Don't let that be your legacy. Your time is now. Your chance is today. Your breakthrough is waiting just outside your comfort zone. So step out, step forward, step boldly, because it's only outside your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a bird. For weeks, it sits in a nest high up in a tree. The nest feels safe, warm, and familiar. But then one day, the mother bird pushes the little one out of the nest. At first, the baby bird panics. It doesn't know how to fly. Fear takes over. It feels like it's falling, failing, plummeting to the ground. But then instinct kicks in. The wings begin to flap. And suddenly, for the very first time, the little bird experiences what it means to fly. Do you know what that is? That's the power of being pushed outside the comfort zone. And just like that bird, you too have wings. You too have a destiny. You too were created for more than just sitting in the nest of comfort. But unless you're willing to risk the fall, you will never experience the flight. Now let's be honest, stepping out of your comfort zone isn't easy. In fact, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. Fear will grip you. Doubt will whisper in your ear. People around you will question your choices. Some may even laugh at you. But remember, this fear is not a stop sign, it's a compass. Fear often points in the direction of your greatest growth, the things you are most afraid to face. They usually hold the keys to your transformation. Think about it, public speaking terrifies millions of people. But those who face that fear unlock influence, confidence, and leadership. Starting a business feels risky, but those who dare often unlock freedom, impact, and wealth. Leaving a toxic relationship feels uncomfortable, but those who walk away step into peace, healing, and new beginnings. Your fear is not an enemy, it's a guidepost. It's telling you this is where you need to grow. And let me say this clearly, growth never comes without pain. Transformation never comes without discomfort. Change never comes without stretching. A muscle grows when you tear it in the gym. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Gold is purified by fire. And you, my friend, are no different. You want strength. It will come through struggle. You want resilience. It will come through hardship. You want transformation. It will come through stepping beyond comfort. Look back at your own life. The times when you grew the most, were they the easy times? Or were they the times when life pushed you, stretched you, challenged you, broke you? It's the storms that shape us. It's the challenges that refine us. It's the discomfort that transforms us. Now let me give you a secret. Your comfort zone is not a fixed boundary. It's elastic. Every time you push it, it expands. Every time you face discomfort, your capacity grows. At first, speaking in front of 10 people feels terrifying, but after you do it, the next time feels easier. Eventually you can speak to 100, to 1,000, to 10,000. Why? Because you stretched your comfort zone. Every new challenge you face enlarges the circle, and soon the things that once terrified you become the very things you thrive in. So don't look at discomfort as a threat. Look at it as a teacher. Don't look at fear as a prison. Look at it as an invitation, because every step beyond comfort builds courage. And courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward despite it. Now I want to tell you a story. There was once a man named Sylvester Stallone. You probably know him as the star of Rocky and Rambo. But before he became famous, life was not comfortable for him. He was broke, rejected by almost every movie producer in Hollywood, and struggling to even buy food. At one point, he was so desperate he sold his dog for $25 because he couldn't afford to feed him. But Stallone refused to stay in his comfort zone. He wrote the script for Rocky in 3 days. He took it to producers, but they wanted to buy the script without letting him star in it. He refused, even though he was starving. He wanted to live his dream, not just sell it. After countless rejections, a small studio finally agreed to let him star in his own movie. The budget was tiny. The filming conditions were rough. But Stallone poured his heart into it. And when Rocky hit theaters, it became an instant classic. It won 3 Academy Awards and turned Stallone into a legend. Now think about this. What if Stallone had chosen comfort? What if he had sold his script and walked away? What if he had said, "I can't do this. It's too hard. It's too risky"? He would have remained unknown. The world would have never seen Rocky. And millions of people would have missed the inspiration that movie gave them. But because he stepped outside his comfort zone, he didn't just change his life. He transformed countless lives around the world. And that is the power of pushing through discomfort. So let me ask you, what dream are you hiding because you're too afraid to step out? What opportunity are you letting slip away because you'd rather stay safe? What calling are you ignoring because you don't want to feel uncomfortable? The world is waiting for you. The world needs your gift. The world needs your story. The world needs your courage. But none of it will ever happen if you choose comfort over courage. So I dare you, do the thing that scares you. Take the leap that makes your heart race. Say yes to the opportunity that feels uncertain. Because comfort will never give you the life you dream of. Remember this, if you don't step outside your comfort zone, you'll spend your life watching others live the life you wanted. And I know that's not who you are. Deep inside, you're a fighter, you're a dreamer, you're a warrior. You were created to soar, not to sit. So spread your wings, take the risk, step into the unknown. Because it's only after you've stepped outside your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. Let me tell you something powerful. Most people never truly discover who they are. Not because they aren't capable, not because they don't have potential, but because they never step beyond the boundaries of their comfort zone. Your comfort zone isn't just a place, it's a mindset. It's the set of beliefs you've accepted about yourself. It's the little voice that says, "This is all I can do. This is who I am. I can't go beyond this." But let me break it to you, that voice is lying to you. You are far more capable than you realize. You have talents, abilities, strengths, and resilience inside you that have not even been discovered yet. And the only way to find them is by stepping into the unknown. Think about a seed. A seed buried underground is safe. It's comfortable in the soil, but it cannot stay there forever. For it to grow into a tree, it has to break through the shell, push against the dirt, and reach toward the light. That process is not easy. It's uncomfortable. It's full of resistance. But without it, the seed would never fulfill its destiny. And the same is true for you. You cannot fulfill your destiny while hiding in the soil of comfort. You must break through. You must stretch. You must endure discomfort to reach your true potential. Here's the harsh reality: comfort keeps you average. Discomfort builds you extraordinary. Fear blocks you from living. Courage unlocks your future. Let's talk about failure for a moment. People avoid leaving their comfort zones because they're terrified of failure. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Every successful person you admire has a long trail of failures behind them. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper job because his editor said he lacked imagination. Can you believe that? The man who created Mickey Mouse, Disneyland, and some of the most iconic stories in history was told he wasn't creative enough. But Disney didn't let failure define him. He let it refine him. He stepped out again, tried again, risked again, and the world was changed forever because he refused to stay in comfort. Let me tell you something important: failure is feedback. It's life's way of teaching you, shaping you, preparing you. Every time you fail, you don't go back to zero, you go forward with experience. You see, the comfort zone protects you from failure, but it also protects you from growth. When you risk nothing, you gain nothing. The most dangerous place you can live is not where you might fail, but where you never try. I want you to imagine yourself at the end of your life. Imagine looking back, sitting in your old age, reflecting on the years gone by. What will you regret more, trying and failing, or never trying at all? I promise you this: you will regret the comfort you clung to more than the risks you took. You will regret the chances you didn't seize, the words you didn't speak, the dreams you didn't chase. So if you're afraid to fail, let me give you a new perspective. Failure is not the end, it's the beginning of growth. But growth demands courage. Growth demands stepping into discomfort. Growth demands you fight against your own doubts. You see, the comfort zone is familiar, but familiarity is not freedom. It's a prison disguised as peace. It keeps you chained to mediocrity while making you believe you're safe. But true freedom, the freedom to live fully, to pursue your dreams, to become your highest self, that freedom lies outside the comfort zone. Now, here's the truth: stepping outside your comfort zone doesn't mean you have to change your whole life overnight. It's not about quitting your job tomorrow or moving to a new country instantly. It's about small, consistent steps into discomfort. If you're shy, it means starting one conversation with a stranger. If you're afraid of failure, it means trying one new skill. If you're stuck in routine, it means saying yes to one new opportunity. Because transformation isn't one giant leap. It's a series of small steps taken with courage. And here's the beauty: the more steps you take, the more courage you build. Courage is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. At first, leaving your comfort zone feels terrifying, but over time it becomes exciting. What once made you nervous begins to energize you. What once felt impossible becomes natural. And what once seemed far away becomes your new normal. That's transformation. That's growth. That's change. I want you to write this down, remember it, and never forget it. Comfort is temporary, but growth is permanent. Yes, stepping out is scary. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, you will stumble. But every step you take beyond comfort will leave a permanent mark on your character, your confidence, and your destiny. Now let me share a powerful truth: your dreams are not inside your comfort zone. Your calling is not inside your comfort zone. Your best life is not inside your comfort zone. That book you want to write, it's waiting beyond your fear. That business you want to start, it's waiting beyond your doubt. That confidence you want to build, it's waiting beyond your insecurity. Everything you want is on the other side of comfort. So ask yourself, what is comfort costing me? Is it costing you opportunities? Is it costing you confidence? Is it costing you happiness? Is it costing you your destiny? Because let me tell you, the price of comfort is far greater than the price of courage. Courage might cost you short-term fear, discomfort, or failure. But comfort costs you long-term growth, fulfillment, and success. And if you have to choose, and you do, choose courage every single time. Because when you do, you will not only change your life, you will inspire others to change theirs. You will become a living example of what it means to step into transformation. People don't remember those who played it safe. People don't follow those who stayed in comfort. People don't admire those who never risked anything. History is written by the brave. The future is shaped by the bold. And transformation belongs to those who step outside their comfort zone. So today, decide, will you settle for comfort or will you rise into courage? Because your transformation is waiting. And it begins the moment you step beyond comfort. Let me remind you of something important. Every comfort zone comes with invisible walls. You may not see them, but you feel them. They are the fears, excuses, and doubts that whisper in your ear. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not ready yet. What if I fail? I don't have the right skills. People will laugh at me. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Those walls aren't real. They're illusions created by your mind. And the longer you believe them, the stronger they become. But here's the truth: walls of comfort crumble the moment you take action. The very moment you move forward, you realize those barriers were nothing but shadows. Let me give you an example. Think about riding a bicycle. When you were a child, it felt impossible at first. You fell, you scraped your knees, you doubted you'd ever get it right. But once you kept trying, once you stepped beyond the fear, suddenly it became second nature. Today, you don't even think about balancing, you just ride. Life works the same way. At first, discomfort feels unbearable, but the moment you lean into it, you begin to grow. And what once terrified you becomes something you master. That's why I say fear is a signal, not a stop sign. Now, let's talk about persistence. Stepping out of your comfort zone once is powerful, but it's not enough. Growth requires persistence. It's not about taking one bold step. It's about building a lifestyle of courage. Because here's what will happen. The first time you step out, fear will come back. The second time you step out, doubt will return. The third time you might face failure. But every single time you push through, and eventually discomfort stops being a threat. It becomes your training ground. Do you know how a diamond is formed? Under extreme pressure and heat, not comfort, not safety, not ease. And you, too, are being shaped by the pressure of life. Every challenge you face is forging you into something stronger, sharper, and more brilliant. But only if you don't run back to comfort. The people who achieve greatness are not those who never felt fear. They are those who felt fear but moved anyway. They are the ones who refuse to settle, who refuse to shrink, who refuse to let fear dictate their lives. Let me share a story about J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter. Before her books became a global phenomenon, she faced rejection after rejection. 12 publishers turned her down. She was living in poverty, struggling as a single mother. Comfort would have told her, give up, find something safe, stop chasing this dream. But she didn't listen to comfort. She kept pushing, she kept writing, she kept believing. And because she stepped outside her comfort zone, she not only changed her life, she changed the lives of millions of readers around the world. Do you see the pattern? Every story of transformation, every story of greatness is the story of someone who refused to stay comfortable. So let me ask you, what are you refusing to push through? What dream are you letting comfort talk you out of? You see, growth doesn't happen in an instant. It's a process, and that process is built on persistence. But here's the good news. Every time you take one step beyond comfort, your courage expands. And the more courage you build, the more unstoppable you become. Now, let me address something important. Some people confuse comfort with peace. They say, I just want to live a peaceful life. I don't want to take risks. But let me tell you this, comfort and peace are not the same thing. Comfort is avoidance. Peace is fulfillment. Comfort says, don't try. It's too risky. Peace says, I tried, I grew, and now I'm proud. Comfort is temporary safety. Peace is lasting satisfaction, and you will never find true peace while hiding in comfort, because deep inside your soul knows you were meant for more. You can hide from challenges, but you cannot hide from yourself. The voice inside you that says, there's more in me, will never go away. It will keep whispering, keep nagging, keep reminding you that you were not created to settle. So let me give you a truth you need to hear. You don't grow when things are easy. You grow when things are hard. It's in the fire of discomfort that you discover your strength. It's in the storms of life that you discover your resilience. It's in the unknown that you discover your potential. That's why I'm telling you today, don't fear discomfort. Embrace it. Don't run from the unknown. Walk into it. Don't settle for comfort. Reach for courage. Because one day, everything you're afraid of right now will become the foundation of your strength. The speech you're afraid to give today will make you a confident communicator tomorrow. The risk you're afraid to take today will become your success story tomorrow. The rejection you're afraid to face today will become your testimony tomorrow. And when you look back, you'll realize the discomfort you feared was the very thing that transformed you. So here's my challenge for you every day. Do one thing that scares you. Every single day, push yourself one step beyond comfort. If you're afraid of failing, try something new anyway. If you're afraid of speaking up, share your opinion anyway. If you're afraid of change, take the first step anyway. Because courage is not about being fearless. It's about acting even when you are afraid. And here's the reward. Once you embrace discomfort, once you step into the unknown, life begins to open doors you never thought existed. Opportunities appear. Strength grows. Confidence rises, and you realize you were never meant to live small. You were always meant to live transformed. So the next time fear whispers, stay here, stay safe, I want you to answer back with courage. I want you to say, none, I was created for more, and I will not let comfort steal my destiny, because it's only when you step outside your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. Let me share something powerful with you. The comfort zone may feel safe, but it slowly suffocates your potential. It's like planting a tree inside a small pot. At first, the tree grows, but eventually, the roots hit the edges and the growth stops. The tree is alive, but it will never reach its full height, never stretch its branches wide, never bear the fruit it was capable of, because it was trapped in a pot that was too small. That's what living in your comfort zone does to you. You're alive, but you're not growing. You're surviving, but you're not thriving. You're moving, but you're not progressing. And deep down, you know it. You feel that restlessness inside, that whisper that says, there's more in me, there's more I can do, there's more I can become. But the problem is most people ignore that whisper. They drown it out with routine, with excuses, with distractions. They convince themselves that staying comfortable is easier. And in the short term, maybe it is. But in the long run, it's the most expensive choice you can make, because the cost of comfort is your destiny. Listen carefully. Your destiny is too great to be confined to your comfort zone. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young man named Steve Jobs. At 21 years old, he started Apple in his garage with nothing but a vision and relentless passion. He wasn't comfortable. He wasn't safe. He didn't know if he would succeed, but he dared to step outside the circle of certainty. Apple grew, but then something unexpected happened. Jobs was fired from the very company he started. Imagine that. Imagine building something from nothing only to be thrown out. Most people would have given up, crawled back into comfort, and lived quietly. But Jobs didn't. He took risks again. He created new companies. He innovated. He learned. He grew. And eventually, he returned to Apple, this time leading it to become one of the most valuable companies in the world. Now think about it. If Jobs had chosen comfort after his failure, would the iPhone exist today? Would the iPad, the Mac, the iTunes Store exist? Probably not. Because greatness doesn't come from comfort, it comes from courage. And the same applies to you. Maybe you've faced rejection. Maybe you've faced failure. Maybe life has knocked you down. But those moments are not the end. They're invitations. Invitations to rise, to grow, to transform. You see, the comfort zone is not just about avoiding risks. It's about avoiding pain. But the truth is, pain is often the birthplace of purpose. Think about it. The person who survives illness often becomes a source of inspiration for others. The person who grew up in poverty often becomes a voice of hope for those still struggling. The person who faced failure often becomes the leader who teaches resilience. Your greatest challenges can become your greatest strengths, but only if you step out of comfort and embrace them. Now let's talk about something crucial: mindset. Stepping outside your comfort zone is not just about action. It's about belief. You can't step out if you believe you're weak. You can't risk if you believe you're not enough. You can't grow if you believe growth isn't possible. So the first step is to transform your mindset. Instead of saying, I can't do this, start saying, I can learn to do this. Instead of saying, what if I fail? Start saying, what if I succeed? Instead of saying, this is too risky, start saying, this is worth it. Because your words shape your reality. And your mindset determines whether you stay trapped in comfort or break free into transformation. I want you to remember this: fear and faith are both invisible forces, but you choose which one leads your life. Fear will keep you locked in the cage of comfort. Faith will set you free to chase your dreams. Now, I'm not saying the journey outside your comfort zone will be easy. In fact, it will be tough. You'll stumble. You'll question yourself. You'll want to run back to safety. But here's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. Successful people don't give up when it's uncomfortable. They keep moving. They embrace the struggle. They trust the process because they understand this truth. Discomfort is not a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're growing. Think about going to the gym. The first time you lift weights, your muscles ache. It hurts. But that pain isn't bad. It's proof that your muscles are being stretched and strengthened. The same is true in life. Discomfort is proof that your capacity is expanding. So don't run from it. Run toward it. Now, let's get practical. How do you step outside your comfort zone in everyday life? Say yes more often. Opportunities rarely come in perfect packages. Sometimes they look scary. Sometimes they feel inconvenient. But say yes. Yes to speaking up. Yes to learning something new. Yes to trying something different. Do one uncomfortable thing daily. Talk to a stranger. Take a cold shower. Try a new skill. Challenge yourself in small ways, and you'll build the strength to face the bigger challenges. Surround yourself with people who push you. Comfort loves company. If you're surrounded by people who settle, you'll settle too. But if you're surrounded by dreamers, risk takers, and fighters, you'll be inspired to step up. Reframe failure. Stop seeing failure as the end. Start seeing it as feedback. Every failure is a lesson, every setback a stepping stone. Visualize the reward. Don't just focus on the fear of leaving comfort. Focus on the freedom, growth, and transformation waiting on the other side. These are not just ideas, they are habits. And when you practice them daily, you rewire your brain. You build courage. You expand your comfort zone until the life you once thought was impossible becomes your new normal. And here's the beauty: the more you grow, the more you inspire others to grow. Your courage will ignite courage in others. Your transformation will become a testimony that pulls others out of their own comfort zones. Because your life is not just about you. It's about the impact you leave behind. So let me challenge you: don't settle for being a spectator in life. Don't sit on the sidelines while others chase their dreams. Don't spend your days wondering, what if? Instead, step out. Step boldly. Step consistently. Because your comfort zone may feel safe, but your destiny is waiting outside of it. And when you choose courage over comfort, you won't just change your life. You'll change the lives of everyone around you. Remember, it's only after you've stepped outside your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. Let me ask you a question. What would your life look like if fear wasn't holding you back? Think about it. What dreams would you chase? What risks would you take? What opportunities would you embrace? Most people never stop to answer that question honestly because it forces them to confront an uncomfortable truth. They've been letting fear run their lives. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of looking foolish, fear of being uncomfortable. But let me tell you something: fear is not as powerful as you think. Fear is a liar. Fear is an illusion. Fear is a story you tell yourself about a future that hasn't even happened yet. And here's the beautiful truth. Fear may knock on your door, but courage decides whether you let it in. You have the power to choose courage. You have the power to rewrite the story. You have the power to stop living inside the walls of comfort and start living the life you were meant for. But it starts with a decision. You see, most people wait for courage to come before they act. They think, I'll move forward when I feel ready. I'll take the risk when I feel confident. But courage doesn't work like that. You don't wait for courage, you create courage. And how do you create it? By taking action while you're still afraid. Action destroys fear. Every time you act, fear loses its grip. Every time you move forward, doubt gets weaker. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, your confidence grows. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for the fear to disappear. Stop waiting until you feel ready, because the truth is you'll never feel ready. And that's okay. You don't need to be ready. You just need to take the first step. Now let's talk about the power of identity. The comfort zone is not just about fear, it's about identity. You see yourself a certain way, and that self-image dictates what you believe is possible. If you see yourself as shy, you'll avoid speaking up. If you see yourself as average, you'll avoid pursuing greatness. If you see yourself as weak, You'll avoid stepping into challenges. But here's the good news. Identity is not fixed. It can change. And the way it changes is through action. When you do something uncomfortable, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. When you take risks, you prove to yourself that you're braver than you imagined. When you push through fear, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you believed, and slowly your identity shifts. You begin to see yourself not as weak, but as strong, not as average, but as capable, not as fearful, but as courageous. And when your identity changes, your life changes. Because here's the truth, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your beliefs. If you believe you can't, you won't. If you believe you're not enough, you'll act small. If you believe comfort is safer, you'll never risk. But when you believe you are capable, worthy, and strong enough to grow, you step into transformation. Let me remind you of this. You were not created for mediocrity. You were created for greatness. And greatness isn't about being better than others. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about stretching your potential until you've given everything inside you to the world. But you cannot become your best self while living in your comfort zone. The comfort zone is where dreams go to die. The comfort zone is where potential is buried alive. The comfort zone is where people trade their destiny for temporary safety. But the moment you step out, everything begins to shift. Suddenly, challenges become opportunities. Suddenly, fear becomes fuel. Suddenly, growth becomes exciting. And you realize you were never afraid of failure. You were afraid of your own power. Yes, you heard me right. Deep down, you're not really afraid of failing. You're afraid of how powerful, capable, and limitless you actually are. Because once you realize that truth, you can't go back. Once you realize you are capable of more, you can no longer accept less. Once you realize you have wings, you can no longer sit in the nest. So let me ask you, what would happen if you finally stopped playing small? What would happen if you finally chased the dream you've been hiding in your heart? What would happen if you finally took the risk you've been postponing? What would happen if you finally stepped out of your comfort zone and into your calling? I'll tell you what would happen. Your life would transform. And not just your life, your family's life, your community's life, maybe even the world. Because when one person steps out of their comfort zone, they give others permission to do the same. Courage is contagious. Transformation is contagious. Growth is contagious. And the moment you step out, you become a light for others. Now listen closely. There's a reason you're hearing these words today. Maybe it's not an accident. Maybe you needed this reminder. Maybe life has been calling you to step out, and this is the push you needed. Don't ignore it. Don't delay it. Don't push it off to tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised. The only time you have is now. So what will you do with it? Will you stay where it's safe, or will you step where you can grow? Will you hide in the comfort zone, or will you rise into transformation? The choice is yours. But remember this, when you choose courage, you choose growth. When you choose growth, you choose transformation. And when you choose transformation, you choose the life you were created to live. So I challenge you today, not tomorrow, not next week, today, take one step outside your comfort zone. Make the call. Start the project. Share the idea. Take the leap. Because everything you want, everything you dream, everything you're destined for, it's waiting for you just outside your comfort zone. And when you step into it, you will discover the truth that will set you free. It's only after you've stepped outside your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to pause and reflect on something deeply important. You and I both know that life is short. We get one chance, one shot, one precious opportunity to live fully. And the biggest tragedy is not death. It's reaching the end of your life and realizing you never truly lived. Too many people will live and die inside their comfort zones. They will never taste the sweetness of growth, never experience the thrill of chasing their full potential, never know the power of transformation, because they chose to remain safe. But you are not most people. You are not here by accident. You are here because deep down, something inside you is restless. Something inside you is calling for more. That something is your soul refusing to settle. That something is your potential crying out for expression. That something is your destiny pulling you forward. And the only way to answer that call is to step outside of your comfort zone. Now, let's be honest, stepping out is not easy. It never will be. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is painful. Transformation comes with resistance. But here's the truth, so does staying the same. Staying in your comfort zone has a cost. It costs you your dreams. It costs you your potential. It costs you your fulfillment. So either way, you will face pain. the pain of growth or the pain of regret. But only one of those leads to freedom. Only one of those leads to purpose. Only one of those leads to a life that matters. And that's the pain of growth. That's the choice of courage. That's the leap of faith. So I ask you again, what kind of pain are you willing to endure? The pain of discipline or the pain of regret? I hope you choose discipline. I hope you choose growth. I hope you choose to live, not just exist. Because life is not about surviving. It's about thriving. Life is not about playing small. It's about playing full out. Life is not about comfort. It's about contribution. And the world doesn't need another person living small. The world doesn't need another person hiding their light. The world doesn't need another person shrinking into the shadows of comfort. The world needs you, your voice, your courage, your greatness. Because here's the thing, when you step out of your comfort zone, you don't just change your life, you change the lives of everyone you touch. Think about it. Every invention, every movement, every breakthrough that shaped the world, it all began with someone who was willing to step out of their comfort zone. The Wright brothers left their comfort zone, and we can fly. Thomas Edison left his comfort zone, and we have light. Martin Luther King Jr. left his comfort zone, and the world moved closer to equality. These were ordinary people who made extraordinary choices. They weren't fearless, they were faithful. They weren't ready, they were willing. And now it's your turn to dream bigger, your turn to step bolder, your turn to live louder. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait for the perfect conditions. Don't wait until you feel ready. Because readiness doesn't create transformation, action does. So here's my challenge to you. As soon as this video ends, I want you to take one bold step, one act of courage, one move outside your comfort zone. Maybe it's making that call you've been avoiding. Maybe it's signing up for that class you've been delaying. Maybe it's speaking your truth, chasing that dream, or starting that project you've been putting off. It doesn't have to be huge, it just has to be now. Because momentum doesn't come from waiting, it comes from moving. And once you move, even a little, you'll feel the shift, you'll feel the energy, you'll feel the transformation begin. And once it begins, nothing can stop it. So step forward, step boldly, step courageously, and remember this, it's only after you've stepped outside your comfort zone that you begin to change, grow, and transform. Let those words echo in your heart. Let them guide your choices. Let them become your new standard for living. Because life is too short for comfort. Life is too precious for fear. Life is too sacred to waste on playing small. So rise. Rise into the unknown. Rise into your greatness. Rise into the life you were created to live. And when you do, when you look back years from now, you'll smile. Not because it was easy, but because it was worth it. Not because you avoided fear, but because you faced it. Not because you stayed safe, but because you chose to be free. And that freedom, the freedom to live fully, to give fully, to love fully, that freedom begins with one simple, powerful choice, stepping outside your comfort zone. So don't just listen to these words, live them. Don't just agree with them, act on them. Don't just dream, do. The time is now. The choice is yours. The future is waiting. Step out, step up, step into transformation. Because your destiny is not in your comfort zone. It's out there waiting for you.